Welcome to Adults Only Comedy Berlin, the live recording of the podcast at Noisy Rooms at Podfest. We've got Shure microphones, and we have the amazing, I have to do some, I think it's like some sponsorship stuff. And we've got the amazing Freddi Gralle. Guys, can we give a round of applause for Freddi?
Anna Veros, thank you so much for having me.
So happy that you were available.
Yeah, I could squeeze you in.
Well, recently, last Saturday, you were not in a good space. Sorry to bring this up. But you were like, and I was like, I was in a good place, and you were like, look, I'm not feeling great. I think I've got so much free time. And I was like,
I'm like depressingly unemployed right now, and I'm like, there's like a boy story going on, so I'm just like, I need something to take my mind off of it. So,
yeah.
and then I watched a rom-com, and so I just cried the whole day.
Which rom-com did you watch?
Oh my God, what was it?
Was it American?
It was American. I think, I watched Reality Bites, which is like my favorite film. And so I was like, I think it was like, I was so nostalgic. And then I was like, it's never going to be the 90s again.
I'm never going to have an AIDS scare again.
I know. So I was very depressed. But then doing comedy on your show was great.
Yeah, that was, you did a great set. You were there for that set. You saw how great Freddi was. We've got lots of people in the audience that have seen Freddi perform, right? I'm just curious, has anyone here seen me perform stand-up?
No, but to be honest, I've only been to 2 stand-up comedy shows, and you were in one of them.
Okay, cool. All right. Okay, so it's interesting, and we've got a fullish room here. We've got what?
Yeah.
How many people? Can you quick count? It's 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 people.
Oh my God.
Oh my God!
It's a show.
It is a show, and you guys all listen to the podcast, I assume, or you're just randomly here. Randomly here. All right.
I love a random guest.
That's great. That's perfect. Okay. Yeah. So
Adults Only is always good.
Adults Only is.
Yeah.
It is, and it's it's always comedians, and it's always about I live in Berlin. That's pretty much the only reason why Berlin's in the title. But, yeah. But Freddi's been on the podcast a few times before, and we're just gonna talk random.
Let's talk
shit
about it.
So do you want to talk about your boy problems?
Okay, so it's like such a Berlin story. So we met on Tinder. Then after a couple of months, he was like,
You met on Tinder?
Yeah.
And you had chemistry?
Yeah. I know. That's kind of amazing. So
Yes.
I think I was like, oh my God. And then after a couple of weeks, he was like, there is another woman. No, the first was like, so do you have other lovers? And I was like, no, I would have told you. And he was like, So I
How old is he?
He's 45, so he's a little bit older than me.
Okay, all right, a little bit
older.
Okay.
And then I was like, blah, there's another woman, and then we kind of broke up, and then he got back. He was like out of the town for like 3 weeks, and now it's like, do we want to do an open relationship? And I just like want to throw my head against the wall because it's not really me, but I'm like, at this point of my life, maybe it's the last time that I can do, like, I can try it. It might be a good story for the stage.
You're not that old. It's not going to be the last time.
No, but I don't ever want to be in this situation.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I'll try it. I'll probably not enjoy myself, but I'll try it.
Yeah, this is your opportunity to maybe give it a crack.
I'm a really perky person.
Yeah, you're so optimistic.
But you've been in like 1,000 open relationships, haven't you?
Thousands it's a bit of an exaggeration, Freddi. But I would say I've had various types of open relationships. Actually, my first open relationship was in high school. I was...
What?
Yeah, crazy.
Jesus, how progressive are you?
Yeah,
he was annoying.
Right? No, it was like, he was like, well, I'm seeing this other girl, and I was like, okay, well, she can suck your dick too, that's fine. And
how are you not ever jealous? Like, that's like the thing I don't...
I was.
Oh, okay.
But then so I broke up with him, and the day after I broke up with him, he got diagnosed with testicular cancer. I was like, whoa.
Oh, good riddance. I'm going to sit at your bedside.
Yeah, no, he's still alive. He's just got one ball now. Which happens with testicular cancer, and that's a bummer,
Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, that was my first open relationship, and I was jealous, and I wasn't interested in.
So were you just saying it to be cool, or did you actually not care?
Well, the thing is, we started dating at the same time as he started sort of seeing this other girl, and so it was sort of like it was the same time thing, and I was like, yeah, we can do this.
I'm in awe.
But yeah, I was 15. And
I don't understand you as a person. Okay.
That's fair. I didn't enjoy it. Like I didn't enjoy it, and I was like, never again an open relationship.
Is that just the bottom line of open relationship? Everyone's like, I don't really enjoy it, but it's still like the better alternative to being in an unhappy monogamous relationship.
Yeah, I guess. I think it depends. I believe that there can be open relationships with the right people. Like, it depends on the dynamic of the two people.
Yeah.
So, for example, with my ex-husband, it was an open relationship, but only that in the sense that we would have sex with other people together. And so I didn't want us spending time investing in other relationships outside of ours, but other people could come in to stimulate, because it's just like more bodies, more pleasure. It's just like a numbers game. It's basic.
Yeah, it's a total numbers game, right? I mean, who doesn't?
It is. And so, but that was challenging. Like, he wanted it to be open from the start, because I made out with my best friend at my birthday, and he was like, all right, maybe we make this an open relationship, Anna, because you're a slutty whore. And I was like, yes, probably. No. Also, he had an open marriage with his ex-wife, and he was married when I met him, and he cheated on her with me. But it was an open relationship, so it wasn't cheating, right?
I love just like how different our lives are. Like, we couldn't, I think it's hilarious that you invited me for like the sexy, I don't know, you don't really know me. I used to be like super religious, so from 16 to 32 I didn't have sex because I was in love with Jesus. And so, like,
he is hot.
He is hot.
Yeah,
he's
hot.
Like a hot Israeli guy.
Oh man, I love Israeli.
And so I started like dating in Berlin at like 35, and then, you know, I caught up a little bit, but I'm like so far behind everyone I know. So it's hilarious.
Yeah, well, it's a good contrast, but you're still, you know, you've put in the time to catch up. You know,
I've put in the time. So here's like a really interesting moment I had. It was like a turning point in my comedy career. We did like this double bill, like the Grindhouse, yeah. And I was like preparing to do my solo show, and I had always been on stage, been like very confident. I was like, I'm telling sex stories because I have sex stories now, and like a lot of women on stage are very high status, so it's always like, fuck man,
high status.
Yeah, as in like they like when they talk about dating, they're like. I'm in control, the guy's like the loser, and I'm gonna get what I want. Like, that's a lot of like how female comedians make jokes about men right now, I would say.
Yeah, they're trying to flip the whole
Exactly, and I was system. The same, and I was always like, yeah, you didn't used to have sex, now I'm a whore, you know? And then you were... and it felt empowering, I'm not gonna lie, it felt empowering, and I was like kind of like, it was a crazy transition for me to go from no sex for 16 years to like, dating in Berlin.
When you say 16 years, you don't mean 0 to 16, you mean from...
Yeah, I mean from 16 to 30.
16.
17 to 32.
17 to 32. Just to clarify.
I know. It's not the first
like,
16.
I did that too. Like.
Pervert. And so, and I think you were on before me, and you had like all your sex stories, and just like getting a snippet of, like, she's had a wild life, right? Like, and... in the best way.
Yeah, I'm not offended. I'm just like, I feel like that's overselling it. But yeah, okay.
Come on. Yeah, really? Anyway, like, and then I went on stage and I tried to do my, like, I'm so experienced in sex. And then I was like, it doesn't make sense after Anna to be saying this about me. And so I started being like, yeah, like, I'm not a... Like, I think I made jokes about, like, well, I'm not a whore like Anna, which is kind of funny. And then I was like, actually... I'm not really being honest on stage because it's like, and it's like way funnier when I lean into I actually don't really know that much about sex compared to other people, I feel like.
And leaning into that, it's leaning into...
Like, I have the story about how I give this guy a blowjob.
I love that story.
And then I used to be like, yeah, and I'm so great at it. And now I'm like, and I'm struggling, you know, I'm not good at it. And it's so much more funny. So I've like embraced I mean, I don't think I'm like super bad at sex. I don't know. I mean, it's like, how do you find out how good you are? Because it's like a very...
Like, who's gonna give you the evaluation form of like, well, actually.
Exactly.
And also, fuck that. Like, I just watched the Catherine Ryan special, In Trouble. I think you mentioned it on Saturday. And so I ended up watching it, and she's got this bit about how a guy tells her that she's got one of the best assholes he has ever seen, and then he goes further. He's like, top four best. And she's like, what the fuck are you doing telling me top four? That means I know I'm not number one. I'm not number two either, because you would have said of best two I've ever seen. You know what I mean? And like, how are you ever going to know how you rate?
I know,
sex?
it's like so funny to me.
How you rate as a sexual partner. Yeah, absolutely.
And like what people say during sex is kind of like a lie, because they're like
totally
aroused and they're like, oh my God, you're so hot. Like,
you're so good at that.
Yeah, I'm just like, come on.
Yeah, or like, oh, you do that, like, wow, like you're a magician. And it's like, well, yeah, but
I made it disappear.
Like, you might call every person a magician that makes you come. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, it's not objective, but
yeah. So that's like a big mystery to me. How people
come.
Yeah. I mean, what is it? Like, this is the true reason that I'm here. I'm just finally trying to find out about the female orgasm.
The female orgasm. Yeah, I'm starting to get a little bit more honest with my sex stuff, because obviously I talk a lot about my sexual adventures. So on that special that we did, that split bill, I was exploring a lot of these new stories that have come out, from my past with my ex-husband. Like, there was a night where we took acid, and kind of by accident, we didn't think it would work, and then we just fucked for like 12 hours, and I was like hallucinating, like
nobody believes you, but sure.
The world was like a Picasso painting, like everything I was seeing, and we were going, like, it was nuts. But that night we actually had my housemate's Mormon 16-year-old sister sleeping in the lounge room, and our walls were shared, and we changed that girl's life, I think. We were not self-aware about how loud we were. But, like, you know, I talked about that story, and then I talked about the conditions of, like, our sex life, and how, I don't know, like, we use different dating apps to find other couples to have sex with. And then we went to orgies. And I've talked about this on the podcast.
Yeah, but she's like, like, her sex life is totally ordinary, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
And then I come on stage and I'm like, I've had 3 sexual experiences.
What's coming?
That's funny.
But I want to, like, I started writing, you know, when you haven't written a new bit for a while and you're like,
Yeah.
Like, I've got nothing inside me, I'm a shell. Like, I've got but I've started making notes on, I don't know, looking at how I've become so apathetic about coming with people.
Like, that you're not interested in as a goal anymore? Or?
Yeah, I don't really see it as a goal, and I feel like it makes me a bad feminist to be like I don't, if I fuck someone and I don't come, I'm not like, he's an asshole, or like, or I should have made that, or that was a bad experience because I didn't come. It's like, no.
Well, it's more like how you feel in your body, isn't it? Like, I think for guys, it's like also more of a frustration physically. I don't know.
I don't know about that. Well, maybe. I don't care.
Oh, here's something that I found out recently. You know how there's like the 3-day rule about like when you've been on a date and then the guy is supposed to like wait 3 days to like text back.
Okay.
So
that's an old.
It's like an old, like from the whenever phones were invented. I don't know.
Or like
that you don't text back straight away because that looks desperate, right?
Oh, that's such bullshit. But yes,
I know it's total bullshit. But I feel like I have a hormonal explanation for why that either that rule exists or why it sometimes is okay. Because when I dated this guy for the first time, I think I was like mature enough to kind of look at myself from the outside, like, and kind of like evaluate what was going on. So the night that we met, it was like in a bar. It was like pretty late, and we made out, and we were like drunk and made out. And I didn't go home with him, but even like the making out can like I could just like feel like all the hormones just like flush into my body, and my libido just like skyrocket, and I could just like feel the sexual energy. And I think it's like the same if you've had a one-night stand and you've had like sex and then you go away, and then I know that, like, as a woman, like, oxytocin is released, right? Even if more when you have an orgasm, but even so, and, like, that's, like, it creates a connection, and so, and it's, like, really strong. It's basically, like, taking heroin, right? And so when the partner is gone or that person is gone, then you're just like, oh, I want that again. That's why women get so needy right away, and, like, I like some of them, because it's, like, sort of biological.
It's a hormonal...
Yeah. And so, and I could, and with the guy, I really noticed that even though I wasn't like in love, it's not about him. He's like totally interchangeable because I don't know this guy. So it's not like that I'm instantly in love with him, but it's just like my body is just like, oh, I felt amazing. I need that again. And then after like 1 or 2 days, I could feel like my hormone levels drop again. And then I could like start thinking about him in a normal way as like objective, a person and not just like, oh, I need like his affirmation, or I need him to like tell me he wants to see me again to get that kick. And on this way here, I was like, because I found that really interesting. I was like, oh, that's like good to know, because then I know it's like it's really not about him as a person in the best way, because I don't want to be needy after like making out with someone for the first day. That's stressful for me. I don't want to be stressed out.
Wanting to see someone and thinking that you've found something good and wanting to pursue that, though, that's not problematic.
No, that's not problematic, but it makes, well, it's just like more like looking at it from a different angle.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, maybe the 3-day rule of like not like texting back is like, let the woman calm down and not be a psycho bitch anymore.
Whoa, I'm not sure if I like this framing at all.
I know, it's very anti-feminist. What can I say? I just meant like for me, I was just like, oh, like 2 days after, I can like respond like a different person.
Is there no hormonal thing that happens in the man?
It does. It's called, but they have it's really, I just listened to an audiobook where that was mentioned. I'd never heard that. So women release the hormone oxytocin when they have an orgasm, and men release a hormone called, in German it's called vibrators. I don't know what it's in English, but it must be very similar. I'm German. And
self-love, I think is what
self-love. And that's released when they ejaculate. And it's a little bit, it's also something that connects, but it's also a little bit more territorial. Like it makes them like defend,
more protective.
Yeah, so it's like it has like a little bit of different attributes, and I found that really interesting that they release different hormones.
But no, there is.
Why are we not more the same?
Yeah, I think the 3 days thing is a good idea in terms of just getting some objectivity and like positioning, like placing that experience into the context of everything you want in life, and, and like
I don't mean it as
like
a rule, but it was
context.
just like, oh, maybe. Like somebody once said, like just give your body time to cool down. And also it's great to not let your body cool down, and just like if both people feel the same, it's great,
Yeah, right.
But yeah, anyway, that was like a nugget of wisdom I had.
That's interesting.
The bike right here.
Oxytocin, yeah. Well, that's not happening for me at all with any of these guys, because I'm not coming. No, like I'll,
But snuggling also does that.
Yeah, snuggling, and like, there's still arousal involved.
Yeah.
It's just not like.
Why do you think it's not happening?
The reason is very clear. It's that I have to be really comfortable with someone.
Yeah.
Like, because it's a vulnerability to come in front of someone.
Yeah.
And so for someone to.
Do you think there were phases in your life where it was easier for you?
No. But the thing is, like, I can usually come with someone if I feel secure with them.
So it doesn't necessarily depend on time? It doesn't depend on...
it doesn't depend on
them 10
yeah,
times?
It depends on the person and how safe I feel, like how secure I feel in the dynamic.
Yeah. I understand, because sometimes, like, because sex is, like, passionate, and it's, like... It's kind of like a fast affair often, you're just like tearing off clothes and you're like all over each other. But like for a woman to come, it just needs like a little bit of a moment.
Yeah, it needs a bit.
So it's like, I think it's like it's like a rhythm thing almost, that it's like hard to like slow down enough to be like, okay, we just need to like reduce our heart rates for a little bit.
Yeah, we just need to, need to bring the energy level down a little, and it's more of a, so I suppose with different lovers, you find a different kind of pace and the way the sex develops, and then it can happen more easily. Or if the person's really just like relaxedly focused on figuring out how to make you come. Not this like, I have to make you come, otherwise I'm a failure. Like that pressure is horrible, but the I just want to, let's like, if it's like this playful, long, we've got no time restraints.
12 hours, sure.
Yeah,
sure.
Exactly.
And make us feel bad.
Drug-induced sex is a very different thing, though. Like, Have you? Okay, so you're seeing someone age appropriate. I'm really proud of you. I really.
I know. I've never ever dated somebody that was older than me.
Whoa,
Yeah.
really?
It was always like I dated like 2 guys that were like my age, and then it was always younger because I've had so little experience dating.
Mm-hmm.
I think like my dating age is like way younger.
Also, you need to like have sex with someone who has as little experience as you.
I once had sex with like a 26-year-old when I was 39, and he was like, "Oh my god, I'm probably better at sex at you." I'm like,
Ugh.
I mean, he wasn't. He was terrible.
Good.
He was French.
Sorry.
He was like French.
He was
He was
French.
like, "Oh, I'm like so
He
good
brings
at it." I'm like, "You are
nationality.
trash."
Well, okay, can we dissect how trashy he was? Like, what did he do? What
Well,
trash?
it was like I think that happens a lot. That it's like.
I like
when
how you bring up that he's French, so that
I know, but it was
joy.
like such a big deal. We met in a bar, and you know how like
So you meet
sometimes
everybody.
he
Sorry.
was working there, and he was like the banter was like so great until the moment that we were like, okay, let's go home together, and then it was already like then almost like the magic was like kind of gone, and then he just like it was like so fast and. He like did not like
So like as in
put
quickly
any-
naked, quickly inside,
Yeah.
quickly over.
Yeah, and so I mean, and that was like
No
it was,
foreplay.
Well, I don't really remember. It was like a while ago. It wasn't like it was kind of like it was like one of these super hot like tropical nights. So it was kind of like nobody wanted to move anyway. But it was like and that was like it was like 4 a.m. We were drunk, whatever. Not high expectations. But then he would like a couple of times he would like call me or like text me at like 1 a.m. It's like, oh, can I come by? And then. It was like, I was like, oh, is that how young people date? It was just like, and then he would come over for an hour and then he would go away again. I was like, okay.
That's not the worst.
No, but.
If he comes to you and then leaves, that's actually perfect.
Yeah, I know. Well, he did, because he had bed bugs, I think.
Oh, dude, what are you doing?
I know. Well, he wasn't sure. I had sex with him in that bed. I don't know what was, I don't know. It's just,
So he would say, I'll come over to you.
no, not because, but he was just like on his way.
Babe, I have bed bugs. Can I come over? Like, no.
And then once he like told me like, can I come over? And I was like, yeah, you can. I have my period though. I just wanted to say that. And then he didn't write back for like 30 minutes. And then he was like, okay, I'll come. And I was like, did you check with other women if they didn't have their period? He was like, no.
You did, like, as in if he wanted to see if on the list, his Rolodex of people to fuck if someone else wasn't menstruating.
That's how it felt. I don't know.
Have you? Okay, I've had guys that are super into me bleeding.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Have you had that?
Not really.
Have you had guys say no?
Yeah. Well, my ex-boyfriend, he would like faint when he sees blood. So, I guess like that's not the ideal situation for him.
Okay. So you did, okay, yeah. Because I remember in my earlier days, I did have partners that didn't like menstrual sex.
Yeah.
But I don't accept that now.
You don't even.
That makes sense.
Well, I think like people's relationships. I think for women it's like so different because we see our blood all the time. So I don't know. Some people find it weird.
I don't know. Yeah.
I have a bit about period sex, and I'm like, well, if the roles were reversed, I probably wouldn't queue up for like lukewarm dick blood. Like, I probably wouldn't want it.
I'd be down.
I don't know.
Just for the balance of it. I mean, yeah.
Because blood is, like, different than semen for some reason.
Yes.
Right? I mean,
but also the blood's
color.
But also the, like, well, we're getting gross. I love it. But I love the idea of dick blood. Like, dick. But it's also, like, semen just comes at the end, whereas the blood's there the whole time.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like... True. You're having sex with the blood. It's not like the end game.
It's inclusive.
I mean? Yeah. I started writing a bit. It was just like a one line really of like I'm the kind of feminist that I don't tell a guy that I'm menstruating until he's inside me. I'm like, is that and some people are like, that's weird. Unethical.
Yeah,
like you should tell them. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Like it's part.
Do you let men come inside of you when you're on your period?
No. That was filled with lies. If I'm in a relationship, and absolutely, like if we're in we're being safe, yeah. Why?
No, I did that the other day for the first time, and he was like so grateful. I was like, fuck, I should have done this way earlier.
Really? Yeah. No, definitely. Like, if you feel like you're both safe, and yeah,
well,
for sure.
Not really.
Not really, because he's got another woman.
That was before I knew.
Oh no! Oh, he came inside you before he told you that he was seeing someone else.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm a gracious person. What can I say?
Yeah, that's generous. I don't know. Letting people come inside you is that's a special thing. That's a special thing.
It's only for special people when you have special feelings for someone.
Really?
When mommy and daddy love each other very much, they come inside each other.
Exactly. They come inside each other. How do I come inside him?
Yeah, I know. In his ass, I don't know.
Like pussy to like I try to. I don't know. Have you squirted? Have we asked this?
I think like 2 guys have made me squirt, but only like when I didn't even expect it. Like weirdly, like on some of the first times I had sex with them, I think because I wasn't even like thinking about it. Do you need more caffeine? Oh no, Anna's switching to alcohol. So yeah, I feel like whenever like guys have like tried it, or I was like aware that they're trying to do it, then it didn't work.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It doesn't work if they're trying.
So annoying.
No. It's only happened to me once, and it was just like, what?
Yeah, I know. I was
What?
like, is this what they were talking about?
Yeah.
On YouTube?
Well, because they talk about it on YouTube.
I mean, they're like tutorials and stuff. I don't watch porn. I just watch tutorials.
You just watch YouTube tutorials.
Oh my god, that's such a good line. I need to write it down.
I don't watch porn. You watch YouTube tutorials. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Mental note. That's so true. I can imagine you doing that. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I've never watched a tutorial about sex.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just a natural.
You're just a natural. I think it's great that they exist.
I've just never watched one.
Yeah.
Not ever.
I mean, there are a lot of like about like female health and stuff. So yeah.
I've read many articles about squirting to try and figure it out.
Well, it's the same then.
Yeah. Like, and I understood all of it, but like it had never happened. I'd never tried to have it happen, and then it happened by accident.
Yeah, you can make yourself. I don't know. You can do it yourself, but
I was trying to do that too.
Yeah, I heard you have to squat. That's like
I was sitting like this when it happened. I'll admit it. And so I felt
for the podcast listeners. Anna just pulled up her legs and is in a squatting position on her.
Yeah, you do have to squat, I think. Yeah.
I think it's because then the G-spot is like more readily accessible.
Yeah, okay. And more in like, it's closer to the clitoris, like it's more...
Yeah.
I'm doing stuff with my hands, listeners. Okay, but twice.
Yeah.
You beat me. You beat me. You've done it twice.
Wow.
Did you really like the guys that... Did they make it happen, or did you make it happen with them?
No, I wasn't like aware. They were just kind of like fingering me, and then it was just like really wet. But it wasn't even like it wasn't like that. It was like that amazing I don't think it was necessarily that I came.
Yeah, no, it's not.
So it was just like I don't really understand the point of it that much. I mean, it's just like very wet.
For me, it was like a spray. It was just like and then and it happened before I came. So it was like that happened, and then I think you never came. So you squirted twice, but didn't come either time. Okay.
I don't really remember, but it was kind of like out of the blue.
Should we put it to the audience? Has anyone here squirted?
Or made somebody squirt? Are people interested in those topics?
I'm interested in what it is.
Okay, so yeah.
What the actual liquid is?
Yeah.
Okay, I know. Do you know?
I've heard different theories. Yeah.
Oh, I thought there was just one very clear scientific thing. So basically, there's the Skene's gland, and that is a gland that sits where your G-spot is. So in the vagina, there's like the G-spot's here, and that and on the other side of that is this gland. And by stimulating the G-spot, you builds up these fluids in the gland, and then that gland is directly connected. I don't know why my hand is useful right now, but I'm using not at all. And then so the gland's here, G-spot's here. That's not even the exit. Here we go. And then by stimulating this, the G-spot, then the gland fills up, and then it ejaculates through the urethra. So through your pee hole. So there are traces of pee in it, but it is this juice. It is this fluid that is depends on the person, but widely considered odorless and clear, and there are naturally traces of pee, but like that's just because it goes through the same.
I think that's like the mystery where people are like,
is it pee?
Yeah.
It's not. I've had some guys say it smells bad. Not mine.
Obviously.
But like
everything that coming out of Anna smells like roses.
But I've had some guys say that it smells, like it's like, whoa, I didn't, and it was so much. Like, wow.
Maybe it depends on what you eat as well.
I'd say just like semen. Have you had really bad tasting semen?
No, but it's so funny. Like the guy that I was dating, like I think the first time I had oral sex with him, he's like a vegetarian most of the time, but like I like had oral sex and then I swallowed it and he like immediately is like, I'm so sorry, I had a lot of meat yesterday, I'm sure it doesn't taste good.
Really? That makes me wonder if he's tasted his own cum. And
I think he's just like, well, I don't know. I think he's just like very knowledgeable about food because he's a chef, and then about sex because he's a sex addict.
He's tasted his own cum.
I'll ask him.
You've tasted your juices,
I haven't
right?
tasted it, but of course, like we smell our stuff a lot because of like different times of period. Oh, I haven't. Oh, you mean like when you have oral sex?
No, I mean like you
no,
put
of
your
course
fingers inside you.
No, but like when you have sex with someone and then you blow him afterwards, you kind of taste your own pussy, which I don't love.
I like how you like cringed at saying fingering before, but then you were like, well, of course, like when you have sex and then you give him a blowjob and then you can taste your own pussy. Like that was beautiful.
I never realized that this is gonna be like on air forever out there. It's just so terrible. My dad is a pastor, by the way.
Yeah. Does he listen to any of your stuff?
No, God, no.
Yeah.
That's one of the main reasons that I don't do comedy in German, because it would be like too accessible for my parents. Yeah. No, it's like honestly, like I don't want them.
Yeah.
Be in my business.
All right, so my stepdad has listened to every episode of my podcast. No, he's a really great parent. I love him. There's nothing creepy at all. He's like so supportive and understanding, and he'll like message me when he like hears a really great episode and say like really nice feedback. And then when I send them sets and they've seen all my comedy and really supportive and just like
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's
and
amazing.
your comedy is way more dirty than mine.
Yeah. And I just found out yesterday, in fact, that my stepmother also listens to my podcast. Now, my mother does not. My father does not. But the steps are listening.
But that kind of makes sense.
It does, because
it's too close for your parents.
But I found out that my stepmom I think she's only listened to one episode, because in the description it has bad dads as a topic. And now my father, I've just found out, is very upset at me and has been for the last few months.
Have you? Did you talk about your dad?
Oh, yeah.
But not just in that episode.
Well, actually, I don't think I've gone that deep on the topic, but I talked about my experience of their divorce, my mum and dad's divorce, and apparently he's upset that I aired his dirty laundry online. It's like, it's my experience, dude. Like,
oh, that's such a difficult. Yeah, I mean, it's the same because I talk about that I lose my faith. Like I've talked about that on like German TV, and for my parents, that's like really hard to still like, come to terms with, because obviously it like criticizes their worldview and stuff, but also it's like, I mean, I'm not saying that they brainwashed me or anything, but yeah, exactly.
Well, it's like if you've got a child that's doing comedy or doing anything. I
think most people write their autobiography when their parents are dead. It makes sense. I mean, no, I'm not even kidding. It's just like,
That's so real, Freddi. That's
so
true. Oh my God, yeah. Well, the thing is, in the episode I did refer to my father as like returning to alcoholism after the divorce. I don't think he's. I hope they listen to
Sweet homecoming.
Sweet homecoming. I talk about him being an alcoholic, and I talk about him stopping drinking because the wife that he met. Like the woman he married drinks more than he does.
But your stepmom was fine with it.
No, I don't think she's okay. No. I think no. And
so hard.
Yeah, and then talked about some of the shenanigans that my brother and my father got up to, like directly after the divorce, when he was drinking a lot and
he was drinking with
my brother. My brother.
Let's talk about your dad some more, since he's so uncomfortable with it.
Exactly what I wanted to do today. No, but like it's not there. It's like these are what I experienced.
Yeah.
Like these are, you know, I think I have had to battle with substances. Not had to battle, but I think, you know, having a father that was often like very drunk. Like the stories are funny, but they're sad as well because he was out. Like he was very drunk. Like one day I came home and he came home. He was super drunk. He drove home. And I went down to the garage and he'd parked the car so far into the garage that my bike was like pinned between the wall and the car. Like he'd gone in too far, and he would like, it was never violent or anything, but like lots of little funny things. Like he tried to swim in the ocean one day in like a wheelie bin, like in one of those big like trash containers that the house has. Like it's funny, but it's like, you know, it's a bit like, that's your father, you know, like, and like they would drink so much, my brother and dad, that when my dad would drive my brother to school, before he went to work, they'd have to stop the car and they'd both throw up before they went. Like they were drinking a lot. You know?
Also like that your dad like took your brother along. That's,
totally.
Like way more concerning than him drinking.
Totally. And my brother had to stay down that year. Like he wasn't doing okay in school.
No.
And look, like, these are my experiences. I'm not shitting on my dad. It's like, this is what I experienced. Like, this is what I witnessed. So, I don't know, with comedy, like, you say that, you know, not doing comedy in German kind of saves you from the situations, but in English, like, have you had people come at you being like, you shouldn't have talked about that on stage, or you shouldn't have put that out there?
Honestly, it's really only like I've done like when I did like the stuff that I did in German, because it was like it's like on YouTube and like on TV like a little bit, and like just like the internet being trash, just like comments like I talk about just like religion, and then people are like, you will burn in hell, and like give me Bible quotes and stuff, and I'm like, what? Like who cares? Like it's just like really weird. Or like, but
nothing personal, nothing someone in your life that's...
No, it was more like, or I have this bit about my great aunt, and like, you know, she was a virgin when she died, and I made like jokes about that, about like her coming to heaven, and like, you know, the Muslim like suicide bombers being like, oh fuck, now I get, you know, a 93-year-old German, you know, and I got a lot of like, I think from like really young people be like, this is not okay to like talk about your family members like that, and I was like, huh. And like, oh no, that was like the worst. Like my mom actually asked me, because it's her aunt, and so we had like coffee and cake. I was at home, and they watched it, and she was like, do you think you're like leaving her dignity when you talk about her like that? And I was like,
she's dead.
I know. I mean, it was just like how do I explain that, like how comedy works? You know, it's just like, and I understand like she doesn't understand why people tell like really personal things.
But it's also like it's keeping her memory alive. Like now we all know about your great aunt, you know, and how much dick she refused.
She was a great woman. Like I love her. I know.
Like her story is living on through you. Like otherwise, no one would know.
And I think there are actually a lot of women in that generation, you know, where she had like one fiance who died in the war. And I make a joke about like, oh, fucking men ghosting her. So yeah, I mean, it's the reality in that generation. A lot of guys died, so a lot of women were just like kind of alone for the rest of their lives. I don't know.
Or they were
it's a political
virgins,
comment.
But you know, they just were good
my
liars.
Family's like very Christian, so I really think she wasn't.
Yeah, no, I'm not suggesting that she wasn't a good Christian, but like other women in that generation.
No. Yeah, but yeah, who knows? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a really difficult. I really admire either people who have like parents that are chill, or people who don't give a fuck what their parents say.
And the thing is, like, my dad wouldn't have a problem if he didn't do all that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I know.
There would be nothing upsetting about hearing about your child's, you know, childhood if you didn't do shitty stuff.
Yeah.
Apparently, he said to my brother, he's like, you know, did I do something to hurt Anna, and that's why she's like publicizing this? And it's like, I mean,
it's a shitty thing to do.
It's just that you just did the shit was shitty. Like, me saying it's not the shitty part. But yeah, like my whole share house in 2021 broke down because of a joke that I made. Like, the end of my share house was because I talked about my housemate going through menopause. starting menopause. It turns out she wasn't even. It was a misdiagnosis by the gynecologist. But still, because I talked about it on stage, that my housemate, is starting menopause, she was like, that's too private.
She was just like, that's my story, you shouldn't.
Yeah. And I was like,
that's like...
I was like, I could be talking about any housemate in all of my existence, and I've lived with other lesbians, like...
I mean, maybe, but would you do that the next time, that you would just be like, okay, I'll just, like, fictionalize the joke a little bit more so it's not about her?
Yeah, exactly. And she's like, can you run... If you do want to say stuff about me, can you run it past me?
I mean, that's fair.
And I agree. I was like, I can run it past you, but I'm still going to do it.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
And like I can make it more anonymous. I can be like my best friends, or whatever. But it's still like, if you're a parent of a child doing comedy, you're fucked. Like
I know, and they don't even know, like, because normally the first 2 years of comedians, they don't even tell anyone.
Yeah, or like no one's gonna see any of the content,
No.
Well, that's why maybe I do more German comedy, because then my parents can't hear it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but fuck them. Like, look at your dirty, like they're not secrets. Look at it's okay. Like,
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Let's see what the fallout's gonna be of that one. Obviously, I'm processing it. I wanted to talk age appropriateness. That's right. Right. So I had something kind of wild. I had this 24. Okay, I'm 35, and I'm seeing a 24-year-old.
Nice.
Yeah.
Still? Is that the same guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it hasn't ended yet. It's 24. Like, there's nothing.
You can't make decisions.
Established. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's lovely, but yeah, it's chill. But he, the first time we had sex, he pulled out a vibrating cock ring.
Huh.
Have you ever had someone pull out a toy?
No.
And you're just like, whoa! That's
unusual for guys, right? To bring a toy.
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah, right. I thought it was like, oh, Gen Z.
Into it.
I was really impressed.
So was it like something that he wanted to try for the first time with you, or was it something that he was already familiar with?
I don't know. He said he just
borrowed it from his flatmate?
I'll be right back.
I did put it in the dishwasher.
No, he said he bought it. It was just next to and I did see them actually last time I was at Rossmann. They're just sitting next to the condoms.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's just really small.
It's just like a little ring.
So you tried it?
Yeah.
Was it good?
It was different. It was
so
fun.
it just helps it stay up longer, or what's the point?
No, I think it helps to stimulate the clitoris whilst they're inside you.
Oh. Tell me more.
Yeah. So long as they're inside you and it's there, then there's some.
Oh, okay. I'm not a fan of vibrators, I have to say.
I was, because Tara Kilbride's a comedian on the scene. She has a bit about hating them, and I've re-embraced my vibrator.
Ah, okay. I mean, I totally see the purpose. In 2020, in the first lockdown, I got really into crystal dildos. Like, I have a rose quartz dildo, which is like
a pleasure wand.
A pleasure wand, which is kind of like the opposite, philosophically, of a vibrator.
Yeah.
Because a lot of sexologists they say that vibrators kind of numb the nerves because it's I don't know if guys know if guys have experience, but it's crazy how stimulating they are, and I can come really easily with my fingers in 90 seconds. I don't need a vibrator.
Catholic upbringing.
It's not Catholic, but yeah.
Sorry, evangelical Baptist.
Yeah.
Baptist upbringing.
Baptist upbringing. And so and I have friends who are I can only come on on the highest level of the vibrator for when I use it, it's just you're just you can't feel anything afterwards for several minutes because it's so intense.
Mm.
I understand to use it a little bit, but to use it all the time, I think it's really dangerous.
No, I don't think you should use it all the time.
No.
I think that creates a dependency on it.
And we don't like
dependencies.
Because we're independent women.
But I think it's a fun, throw it in there for some different things. And I've got this vibrator that's it's got several ends, so there's different things I can be doing with it. There's different options.
Yeah.
There's a whole menu there. that I can choose from, and then all the different settings. But I don't know. Like I'm not against them. I think there's something interesting about them, and if
it's just like insane what they can do. Like I think it's just like. Yeah, I mean, like, so many comedians have bits about vibrators and, like, how, like, the male genitalia looks nothing like the vibrators anymore. Like, you know, the clit suckers that are just, like...
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I don't like the clit suck. Like, I don't disrespect anybody's choice.
I have a clit sucker.
I'm sure you do.
But it's just, like, but that's, I think that's what I meant. Like, it's just, like, too intense. It's just, like, too much.
Yeah, that one I'm like, that resembles, I don't know, it's a little bit, like, cool.
It's like a little anteater who's just, like...
It's air pulsation, right?
I mean, it has like all these patterns, and it just like also like that it sounds like a lawnmower. It's just like not okay.
Is it loud?
I mean, every vibrator is kind of loud.
Why haven't they figured out the silent vibrator? I don't get it.
Velcro is silent. I mean, they figured out that. No.
Velcro is silent. Velcro
no, I mean like they
silent.
no, but they.
Is there silent Velcro?
Maybe that's like in Garden State. Do you remember that film?
I do remember the film.
There was like a guy who got rich because he invented
silent Velcro.
Maybe it's made up anyway. But
that
yeah, silent. I would.
The silent vibrator.
Sneaking out of the house and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, silent vibrators. I think it's like I think it's a turnoff. But maybe it can be cool if you're like listening to really loud techno music or having sex, and then like the vibrator is just like the industrial vibe that you want.
I noticed I bought a fan finally for my apartment. Great topic.
But like
it takes out it balances out the vibration noise.
Oh,
so
but I have a fan, like a stand-up fan, and then but like during sex, like it blows into my pussy and it just makes it dry. Like you can't.
It blows into your pussy.
You know when it's like on the foot end, so you have to like switch it. It's just like it's not good for sex.
It's a very visual thing. I'm just seeing. It's like this
big gaping hole.
Gaping hole getting dried out.
I have a very tight pussy. It's tiny.
Yeah. But
really bring the dirty out of me.
I love it. Fan vibration noises. I don't know. Yeah, the fan helps. It's like if you just want to neutralize it and not be so aware of it. Also, like, living with other people, I think changes how. Yeah, you haven't lived with other people for a long time, right?
I live by myself.
Yeah, I think living with other, and like if you fuck someone that lives with other people, there's like a whole different level of like.
I hate that. The idea.
Yeah.
Roommates are just from hell.
Makes it really hard to come, I think, if there are other people in the
house. I totally agree.
I'm just like, I'm that bitch.
Are you like loud when you have sex? I mean, you're like a loud person in general.
I'm a loud person in general.
You have a bit about it.
I have a bit about it. Well spotted. I can be loud. Yes, during sex. Yes, I did. Like, if I'm really comfortable, then I'm fucking loud. Otherwise, if I'm at someone else's house, I will be so silent.
Are you like loud, or do you like say things?
Ooh, I like these questions, really. I am a terrible communicator in bed.
Really?
Oh, I'm so bad. Like, for all this experience that I have, this is this bit that I'm gonna be like developing a bit more. Is that the not sort of really like. Not being driven to come with people or not like trying to, but also like I'm so bad at communicating. Yeah. But I'll be loud, like I moan a lot, or I'll like.
That's nice.
Or that's nice. That's nice. That's nice.
But you mean you find it hard to say like specific things or like what you want? Yeah. Okay.
Like make me a tea. No.
You got the tea bag. Yeah.
But like unless it's like like that's hurting, like them hurting me, of course I can articulate that. Or if like my knees are hurting or my back, it doesn't have that. But like like sometimes
but you're hard of like saying like, oh, that feels really good. Can you do more of that? Or like, oh, this is really sexy when you do that.
Yeah, no, I didn't say that. I'll be like, yeah.
It also really depends.
It
really depends on the partner, I feel like. If they're like good at it, then it's easier to like also.
Yes, if they start saying things, then I'll be like, but even then I'm still like, because whenever I'm having sex, the moment I want to say something, I start hearing how dumb it sounds, or all the potential like criticism that could be interpreted,
or how you could make it funnier,
or how exactly, or that it's gonna ruin the moment because of the comedy in it or something. So it's like
it is. I think it's really difficult,
really hard for me. And I think I've said it many times, but I do want to start doing it. But I think I need a partner to do it with. Like,
let's try it right now.
No. But like I think I need a partner to practice communicating better and better. Like when I've had partners in the past, because I was in monogamous, or like I was in relationships for like, long relationships for constantly from 18 through to 32. And so in relationships, I don't have an issue communicating.
Yeah,
I can communicate when I'm safe with someone, and I know. Okay. But if I'm building the trust, and it takes me a long time to. Until I can come, then I'm usually not saying what I want. Once I can come, like it takes a little, like I start communicating a little bit right before I'm able to come with them, and then like the relationship ends. But then I can communicate. And I'm like, you made me come, I'm gone. I'm bored now. But you in relationships I can do it. But it's just because I've been having lots of these short ones, so I haven't practiced.
It's hard, I kind of feel like I need a guy to like kind of be better at like be more brave. I dated like my ex-boyfriend who was not great at communicating. Like he never like paid compliments in like normal life. Like he had like a really hard time and like being like emotional. But then weirdly during sex was when he was like completely filterless in a good way and could really. And so that was like I never wanted him to like have sex with anyone else because that was like so special that he like showed me like his truly vulnerable self, and that was like mind-blowing to me. Like he couldn't, like he was like the most uptight person, but then he was like really verbal. It was like really crazy. Like that turned me on.
Opposite.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
That's a big turn on.
So he was able to compliment you in bed, but he was also communicative about what he wanted, or just
both.
the compliment.
Like but like mostly like just that he talked about his feelings also, and like it was weird.
Can you give me an example?
Well, I mean, he would just be like, even just like, oh, you look so hot right now. Like he would never compliment me in like normal life. Yeah.
Bed in bed.
Yeah, and he was like, oh, I love that sound. Like there are a lot of sounds going on. Yeah. And like even just like saying like something. No,
I meant the body slapping. I love that sound you're doing and like slam into you.
And so stuff like that. I was like shocked. So that was interesting.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's why like people show a different side in bed. Like that's like the most drastic example of that.
Yeah, and I feel I really like. I've been saying I want to improve my communication skills in bed, but
I wonder why that is. I have this bit where, which is also a true story, with the same guy, but when we dated years before, he always asked me if I wanted slow sex or fast sex.
That's such a weird question.
Which is kind of cool, right? Like that they asked, and I don't know, maybe there's something that I want that can only happen during slow sex. And then I would always say like fast sex because I thought slow would make me sound like a loser.
I love that.
And so I never had an orgasm, but at least I didn't sound like a fucking loser. But that's exactly it. Like I thought like slow sex, like it was too vulnerable for me to say slow sex. And then while I was writing that bit, I asked like a couple of female friends like if they're good at saying what they want in bed, and everyone was like, oh my god, that's like the most horrible moment in bed when the guy asks me what I want. And those were like strong feminist women, and I'm like, this is so interesting.
When actually my new response when someone asks me what do you want, I'm like, I want you to tell me what to do.
Wow, feminism. Really?
But in bed it's different, right? And I've got a bit about that as well. It's like I want to be told what to do. I want and then I can work around it, but I prefer them to be dominant in what they want, and then I can figure out.
But then how do you get served?
Well, because then I'll see what they're like within what they want. I prefer them to be enjoyed, like, because I'm not sure what I want until I know what they like. It's this dynamic thing, right? Like with every partner, it's different, and so it's like. I'd prefer if they have any idea of what they want to do, like fucking take charge, and then if I'm not enjoying it, or I'll maneuver around that, or I'll suggest something with my body without communicating anything verbally.
Because men are great at picking up on those really subtle cues.
Totally. But
I'm sure they are.
Yeah, but also it's like I mentioned this in the last recording with Jana. You know Jana?
Yeah.
Fajik? Yeah. I was talking about, like, how many men have you had going at the same time?
Oh.
Like, have you dated multiple people at the same time?
Not really, no.
Okay.
I'm not good with
It's
that.
not going to be relatable then. But it was that it's also when I'm with, there's different people that I might be seeing, I forget who likes what. So it's
Oh my god, you're trash.
but it's like, I don't know, tell me what you want. It's, you want that? Cool. Like, then we can, so it's,
You can have like flashcards.
yeah. So, like, was this your sheet or was this your sheet?
You just like study like right before you, like on the U-Bahn. You're just like,
Or I've got the notes that I have, I have files for all of them. No, but it's not that many. But it's but yeah, it's I prefer them to. Also, it's the other thing of the dominant thing that I had in this bit. It's like I have to exert so much control to like and I women do kind of determine if there's going to be sex. That's kind of the thing. Like, men are always, the idea is that it's not always true, but like the idea, the loose thing is that
the other option is called rape.
exactly.
We gotta mention it once.
Yeah, rape. Woo, tick. Okay, good. But like in not woo for rape. Okay, just to clarify. Woo. But the idea is also that there are men that sometimes don't want to have sex. So it's not that the man always wants to have sex. I don't want to be clear on that, but the idea is that the man's usually down, the woman is the gatekeeper, and so in order to get to the point where like we have sex, we've been making so many decisions and like. Positioning ourselves and kind of controlling the situation to a point. By the time I get into bed, I'm like, I don't want to fucking think, man. I don't have to fucking do anything. You take control. I'll let you know if it's not working.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, and that might be great because it depends on if the guy wants to be in charge or not.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I was thinking about. Yeah, all right. So there was this guy, he's crossed off the list now. He's got problems. He's, you thirsty?
Can I have a sip of
Yeah,
your
of
beer?
course you can. I'll drink some coffee. More caffeine, Anna. Why not? So I was seeing this guy, and he's all fucked up about his exes. Every time we catch up, he's like, "Oh, I shouldn't have cheated on my 7-year girlfriend, and then dated a crazy Colombian woman." And he tells me he even was telling me this before we fucked last time, and I was like, "What am I doing listening to this guy's relationship problems and regrets?"
That's a real turn off.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm so dry right now. And, but he, why did I bring this up? Oh, when we first met, he was like, what do you like in bed? And I was like, I want you to tell me what to do. And he was like, okay. And then he hasn't really fulfilled that. But I bring him up as well. God, I hope he doesn't listen. Doesn't matter. I've been very.
Yeah, it's just
anonymous.
burning bridges. Every podcast.
Oh, that's horrible.
Oh, it's caramel.
Oh, I like that you're trying it though. That's cool. I'm drinking a coffee for the listeners. That's in a can. That's warm. Yes. It's a warm milk product. What? Like, of course I would have opened. Yeah, anyway. And also Catherine Ryan talked about this. So this guy's penis, like, I could do anything with it. Like, she's got a bitch where she's like, have you met those penises where you could just, like, slam them in the door and, like, you wouldn't feel anything?
You mean because it's so hard or because they don't care? Or what?
It's because, like, it's so desensitized.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's just like you can fucking do anything with it, and it's like it's vaguely gonna feel something.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he just wants you to be quite hands-on.
Rough.
Yeah.
Rough, like teeth.
Oh, that's unusual, right?
Yeah, a
Right?
bit.
That's unusual.
All the men are like,
You're like,
it's okay if it's not unusual.
panicking.
As I was saying, and then looking, I was like, all these people are listening to what I'm saying.
Because I've definitely several times heard like, less teeth, please.
Yeah, right. And I'm like,
Fair enough. Like, I don't want teeth down
yeah, right.
there.
Because you forget that you got the ones at the back, right?
What a show off. So Anna gets it down real far.
Well, yeah, but God, I'm sweating. But yeah, okay. So you haven't encountered like the kind of like the dead penis.
No, I definitely had a guy. He was like, "Yeah, it's because I'm circumcised. I don't
Yeah,
feel
right.
anything." You like, you really have to like, yeah, I do. Yeah.
And older circumcised, right? Because I think younger circumcised.
You mean when they're 5?
No.
Pedophilia check.
No, I mean, I haven't seen a 5-year-old circumcised penis. It's probably a good thing. Okay.
You can ask Dan Stern's kid.
All right.
He's the organizer of Podfest.
Now we're talking about his child's penis.
He's talked about his child's penis on stage.
He does?
Oh, when he was first born, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
He
Okay, I
had
missed
some
that.
weird bits about it.
Yeah, like his child's penis, yeah. It's a weird bit. So, no, because I worked at a kindergarten, to clarify, so I did see a lot of penises.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
That were 5 years old.
And they were not circumcised.
That was German.
Yeah, I guess. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
There were a
wonder.
couple of Syrians. But they weren't circumcised.
I feel kind of uncomfortable.
Me too.
Okay,
Good.
let's move on.
Let's move on from children's penises. You don't look at them. They pop
No,
up
I
in front of
understand,
you. You know
I
what I
understand.
mean? The ones that I really saw were the babies. You know, the 5-year-olds you don't see as much. But,
Yeah, fair enough. Because you're changing the nappy.
Exactly. They circumcise at like really young.
Yeah,
right?
I think
Like
so.
how young? Like a
Couple months. I don't know.
It's not in the
Actually, I don't
Baptist church at all. They never circumcise.
know. We baptize
Yeah.
in the name.
Just checking. I don't want to make assumptions, you know. But also, all people in the States, it's a common thing that
Yeah,
people in the
it's more
States.
common, I think, like culturally, even if you're a Christian.
Yeah, right. That's what I was thinking. Maybe there's something in the because I don't know where baptism comes from actually. What's the history of Baptist?
I mean, it's just like that they don't baptize the babies without them wanting to be Christian. Because like in the Catholic and in the Protestant church, they just baptize babies and their babies.
And the Orthodox and stuff.
Yeah, and so the Baptists just say, hey, why don't we ask people before we baptize them? So they baptize them. Like I was baptized when I was 13.
Okay.
By my dad, which is not weird. Because you like dunked
not
in
like
the pool,
circumcision.
you know?
Yeah, you're dunked in the pool.
Yeah, so it's not just like the sprinkles on the head.
No, it's
like,
full on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the biggest difference, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so we don't know how old babies are
I don't know.
circumcised.
We could ask.
Do you guys know when bris happens?
8 days.
8 days old.
Oh, okay.
What the
That's
fuck?
young.
8 days.
Is the idea that they won't remember then? They won't be as traumatized? I don't know.
I'm the best atheist in the world.
Oh.
I don't know.
That's amazing that you know that it's 8 days.
I-
That sounds biblical.
Well, I was born and raised in Israel, so there you go.
Oh, very
Boom.
nice.
Yeah. All right. 8 days. There must be something about like
Yeah.
God and
Yeah.
Some other bullshit.
counting days and stuff. 8 days. That is so young. Yeah. So I've never seen a circumcised baby penis. Just to clarify.
Or maybe it's like so small that you can't really see it. Okay, I don't want to
No,
actually know.
you would notice because you see the foreskin of the baby penises. Like that's noticeable.
Should we take
I
questions?
feel like
from
we
you?
should really lean into this more. No, but why did I bring up baby penises?
Nobody knows.
Age appropriation.
Age of no. You brought up baby. You said 5. I was like, I was talking about young men.
Yeah, that's right.
So
yeah.
I think maybe older men with circumcised penises lose sensitivity, but when they're still kind of fresh, like early 20s,
Yeah.
they're still sensitive.
Yeah, that might be true. Yeah.
Okay.
Who knows?
Who knows? Do you want to open up to questions? I have no idea. Do you have a watch?
Yeah, I don't
We don't know what
know.
time it is. What's the time?
9:17.
9:17. So we've been recording basically for an hour, I
Yeah.
think. Sensational. Do you guys have any questions that are not about baby penises?
I mean, whatever. We'll take anything. But we don't know that much
Anything.
about it, obviously.
You look like you got a question.
No. No questions.
Okay. Comments.
Any comments? Any ideas? You can ask anything. Do you have a question for the audience?
I mean, we could have asked about all the topics.
All
like
of
what
them. Well, we did like squirting, and I want to move away from circumcision really badly.
open relationships.
Open relationships. You want to ask a question about open relationships? You want some advice on open relationships?
Yeah, sure.
I'm not going to give it to you. I was thinking maybe they should.
Do you have advice?
No, but,
Yes?
Squirting, because
Classic.
because you talked about knowing a little bit about the background, and have you ever read or heard about why? I mean, is there some evolutional reason, or?
Oh, what like the
function?
benefit is?
Yeah, is there a reason why, or is it just an appendage that?
Yeah, it's just like
vestigial-
there. Let's use it.
Yeah, I
don't
think
know.
it's just an append. It's just part of the. Yeah, I don't think there's any evolution. Like, it doesn't seem like there's any evolutionary.
Maybe it's like cleansing stuff out.
Yeah, maybe it's a cleanser.
But I don't.
Maybe it. I wonder if it does
Maybe
something.
It's some way to prevent UTI. I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a very good
If you saw
theory.
the internet.
Maybe it prevents UTIs because it's flushing out
But
the
then
urinary
it
tract.
really should be easier to have one because I think a lot
to
of
squirt?
women, have UTIs.
A lot of women do have
Maybe it's
UTIs.
just not noticeable in an orgasm, and then when it happens not during an orgasm, it's more noticeable.
Say that again. What's the what?
Like when there's an orgasm, there's secretion of fluids.
A little bit.
Yeah,
Not
but it's,
really.
But it's different. Like the squirting is why there has been science about it because the liquid is really a different composition of.
What liquid? All right, you just suggested that there's liquid excretion
No,
by
I mean
orgasm for
no,
females.
I meant just like that the kind of like the mucus and like stuff that's going. I mean like the stuff that gets wet. That makes you.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a certain amount of liquid.
There is a certain amount of liquid. Have you ever excreted something that's liquidy when you orgasm? That's not a squirt.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Well, wouldn't be a squirt be like a more forceful kind of
Yeah.
ejaculation?
Oh, it's
And
totally
then-
different,
And,
yeah.
and then there's the secretion, which is then
Yeah, yeah.
Secretion just kind of hangs inside, really,
Different.
and like you see it on the condom. Hopefully, there's one on. But the squirt is a totally different thing. It's like a shower. Yeah. It's like a. And it's coming out of the top, like it's coming out from where you pee, so it's very different. But yeah, that's a good idea with the UTI. Maybe it's got something to do with that, because if you've got to stimulate that area for so long, so if you're stimulating that area so long, then maybe the body's like, oh, we're gonna need to clean that area out. You know what I mean?
Oh.
And push it out.
Yeah. I mean, we're very unscientific here.
Very unscientific.
I don't know.
But also at the same time, it's like men ejaculate also through the urethra. They still get UTIs all the time, and there's a.
But I mean, like the prostate, like that doesn't really have a lot of.
Yeah, what does that even do? It's got hormones in it, no?
I don't know.
It's a gland.
It's a gland,
Yeah, so
right?
like, I don't know if there's like evolutionary benefit.
Yeah, of course.
Is there?
Yeah. I think it's the fluid needed to carry the sperm, and the sperm is actually a very small proportion.
And the prostate
of the
creates-
whole, and the prostate creates the carrying fluid, so to speak.
No, but I mean, like if
The prostate creates fluid.
when it
Milk
when-
the prostate. Yeah. Okay. Yep. All right.
But like when you haven't when there's like anal sex and the prostate is stimulated, how is that connected to like the man shooting up out the front?
Because it's connected. So the prostate's connected to then.
But that's like that happens at a
the-
different time then, no?
What happens at a different time?
When the prostate is stimulated,
Mm.
is that the same organ? I don't really know anything about it.
I think it's the same orgasm. It's the same orgasm.
So
It just
like,
comes out through the same place. Just like when we orgasm.
So when you stimulate the prostate, nothing comes out of the prostate. It still comes out of the pee hole.
the pee hole. Yeah.
Ah.
But the prostate,
okay, I didn't know that.
prostate manufactures the part of the liquid that's in ejaculate.
Ah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
To know that.
All right. Good questions.
Good questions.
Good questions. Was there more that you wanted to share?
I don't have a subscription to this journal, but
Just the abstract.
just the abstract.
Okay.
Very abstract.
Okay.
Yeah, but I will go back to like log into my university account so I can read this article.
Okay, yeah. It's
We
fascinating,
can
isn't it?
link
It is
that.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can. I don't link shit to this.
But I have one comment.
Yeah.
So some time ago, I wrote an article on squirting.
And sadly, that was where the recording ended at Podfest. That is from my phone recording. The actual recording by Noisy Rooms somehow failed on my SD card. So retrospective apologies for the quality of the sound. I grabbed it from my iPhone recording. If you'd like to hear more about Freddi's life, check out her special. She's doing a double bill with Chris Davis called Lost and Delusional. So check out Freddi Gralle, freddigralle.com, also her Instagram. And then I did a whole lot of plugging at the end of the recording, talking about all the shows that I'm doing at the moment. Please check them out on AF Barros. That's my Instagram. And we had some other really interesting questions at the end of it and some comments around squirting. But yeah, that was Adults Only Comedy Berlin. Thank you so much and see you next time. Bye.